On today's video, update 38, Anniversary Festival was announced, and in this video, we're gonna go over the top 5 things you need to know about this update that are game-changing in Rise of Kingdoms that'll change your experience, make you understand the game better, or even get a brand new legendary commander, or regular commander, I guess, out of the gold keys. That is right. Now we're getting a new commander out of the gold keys, and we're gonna discuss that in this video, so sit back, drop a like on this video. Let's go. Hey there YouTube, welcome back to Gekko Gaming. Update 38 was announced. Finally, we know when the anniversary event is gonna be. And guess what? There's a lot of changes in this update. It's a very light one, but very impactful. I have 5 update items that are going to change your Rise of Kingdoms game and make you look forward for the newer things and changes and all that. Before we start though, I'm a sponsored content creator. Rise of Kingdoms, you know what I'm saying right there, right? Drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, get a notification. We upload every single day Rise of Kingdoms content. I don't know. Hit that subscribe button. All right. Update 38, Festival, the Anniversary Festival. Thank the Lord. We're going to go over the 5 points in no order, just like in the chronological order they appear on the mail, just so we don't jump up and down, left and right. Our first point is the Anniversary Festival. We're not going to read everything because that's not the point of this video. It's to kind of summarize to you rather than read the text. The bottom line out of this is on the 31st, we're going to get the update, which is next Monday, I believe. And then from there, 2 weeks after that, the Anniversary Festival will begin. The Anniversary Festival will include the good old Rise of Kingdoms yearbook. We had that last year. It's like kind of this flip book. You click next, 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 and get random rewards from, which tells you the things that you did in this last year, how many troops you trained, killed, what kind of gathering did you do, what kind of meaningful events happened to your account, and stuff like that, right? It's kind of a neat little flip book, nothing very serious. Anniversary Festival will be like always a seasonal / holiday type of event, 7 days worth of quests, special items that you need to collect. The more of these items you collect, the more rewards you can unlock. This one is a individual based event. This is not like the previous one that we had, which was alliance based. This means that every single individual is in charge of their own candy commanders and in charge of making sure they unlock the top tier level, which is level 25. We've mentioned multiple times the easiest way for every type of player, from free to play to pay to win to everybody to get to level 25 for free. Super easy. Check out in the channel, look for seasonal events video, and you have the answer right there. When we cover this event, I'll mention that one more time. But pretty much level 25 is what you want to hit, and it's an individual event based. The one thing that's important in here to point out is that Zenith of Power is coming back. Lilith have recently introduced a way to get epic old skins as part of the dice game. You can get an epic skin, but I don't think you can get legendary skins out of it just yet. I think that Zenith of Power is going to have the same exact skin as it did last time. I think that this is one of Rise of Kingdoms' way to kind of allow newer players to get access to older legendary skins, to make it accessible but also not too accessible, so that the people who spent whatever they spent in the beginning to get that skin will not lose the exclusivity of having that skin. That group will grow, but they'll have to pay kind of the same way that the older players paid to get that, rather than roll dice. And so I'm pretty confident that this is going to be the same skin as last Zenith of Power, by the way, but we'll have to see. And finally, Arms Training is that event where you have a Lohar with 10 skills that you got to keep adding skills into him, defeat him 3 times, add a skill, defeat him 3 times. We've done that on stream before. We'll do it again on stream this time around. It's a neat little fun event to try to score some easy rewards if you know what you're doing. That was point number 1 of our top 5. Point number 2 is not yet the legendary commander. I know y'all are waiting for that commander out of the tavern. New commander out of the tavern, super exciting. We'll get there. That's coming. That's one of our points in here. Commander system optimizations. Essentially, Lilith finally listened. We've been saying for probably over a year that the descriptions of commander skills are not anywhere near remotely close to the word clear. Every single time a new commander comes out, the sponsored content creators send that many questions to Lilith about the skills. It always becomes a mess, and there's always a bunch of questions. Well, Lilith finally realized that, and they made two very crucial changes. The first one is that they made adjustments to the skill description to make them more clear, concise, consistent, and easier to understand. And the second thing is that they created key term explanations so you understand what does that key term mean. For example, what is damage? What does buff all damage? What does it cover? What is attack, troop attack? What is entailed within troop attack? What isn't entailed within troop attack? What is a stronghold? So forth and so on. So they added more explanations and more details for us to understand better the commander skills. About damn time. But I understand why this took so long. In a very, very short sentence to give you why these things take a little bit longer is that every single one of these texts needs to be translated not only from Chinese to English, but remember that Rise of Kingdoms is a game with multiple languages. I have no idea how you change the language in this game. I've never done it before. How do you change languages? There has to be, well, there has to be a way. I don't know where it is. I was assuming it would be there here. It turns out it isn't. But Rise of Kingdoms exists in multiple languages. Hey, why it takes time to update? Oh, language. There you go. Blind, chat. Blind. Drop a like on the video, please. All of these are translation files. And these translation files essentially require Lilith to have someone translate from Chinese to either English and then from English to all of these, or from Chinese to all of these languages to make things clear. And this causes the inconsistency because the English translator might understand one thing, but the French translator might understand something completely different. And even worse, if the English translator understood something wrong, and then the French translator has to translate from English, then he's going to make the same mistake that this guy did. And so it's managing languages in an app, in software in general, is a huge pain in the butt, and it always ends up in inconsistencies. No matter how much you try, at least Lilith are addressing the issue and saying we're going to be better at this. And that's really all I expect out of them, for them to address issues and keep trying to tackle them. Even if this is not that good and it doesn't make it as clear as they seem to want to make it, it's still a step in the right direction because they are addressing an issue and trying to fix it. There are a lot of issues that they're not addressing and not trying to fix either. So that's a step in the right direction. Point number 3 is we added a quick action function to unoccupied areas. Governors now tap and hold unoccupied areas to perform number of troop-related actions. An unoccupied area means an area on the map that doesn't have anything on it. If it's Alliance territory, it doesn't matter. It can't have a city on it, it can't have a barbarian on it, and it can't have a garrison, gathering node on it, or any building on it. Essentially, when you try to teleport and you have that circle, think about that kind of a circle. That's what you need to have clear. When you do that and you hold it for long enough, you can finally send troops to a random place on the map. I don't know how many times I needed to send my marches like here on the map, but the only way to get them here was to go here, click on this city, send like reinforcements to it, and then on the side of the screen, drag it from here to here, because it was just impossible, right? There was no way to just send a march out, unless, of course, you're holding on your city and then dragging out. But what happens when you need to go 50 kilometers, 200 kilometers away? You're going to drag all your way, and then the game lags and loses the click, and then you got to do it again. Great optimization for the open field movement thing, open map movement system that they have. This really completes it. Now you can actually tap anywhere and get your march out there. 2 thumbs up from me. I love this. This is the kind of optimizations I'm looking that make Rise of Kingdoms different than any other game of that category. You all been waiting for this. Point number 5, Matilda. Matilda is coming into Rise of Kingdoms to the tavern. No explanation whether she is epic or legendary yet. Will be added to the tavern. Once it's added, there will be small adjustment to the probability of gold chest rewards. Check the gold chest rewards in detail page in your tavern for details then. The reason I called her a legendary commander is one very important hint. The probability of gold chest rewards. If you go take a quick peek at the tavern, and we look at the probability, this is the golden chest and this is the silver chest. Now, if she was an epic, theoretically, her parts would be also available out of the silver chest rewards. You can get out of the silver chest rewards epic commanders, or, well, they're sculptures, not the full commander. So if they're only making a change to the gold chest, it means that it's a legendary commander as far as my deduction skills go, because legendary commanders and legendary sculptures are not available from the silver chest. And if they would have said we're changing the silver in the gold chest reward probability, it would have made more sense. Now, here is some tinfoil hat Illuminati confirmed theory. And no, this is not a Gekko leak. This doesn't have any particular like hidden information within it. I know, you guys know I love doing that to you guys, but in this time, there is none of that. I think that Matilda is Mulan. I think that what we're going to see as Matilda on the global server is Mulan on the Chinese server. I think that they were not able to use the name Mulan. I think that their deal or whatever they wanted to do with Disney did not pan out, and they already have the commander, so they renamed her Matilda. That's my guess. I don't really, because we haven't seen any information about a new legendary commander that's pictures have leaked out of the APK. You know, people like doing that. I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it has and I haven't just seen it yet. So I think that Matilda is Mulan. That's my opinion, at least. It would make a lot of sense because it works out with the timelines of releasing her and all that good stuff. But maybe we're wrong, because why wouldn't they mention Mulan coming into the game if there was Mulan coming into the game, right? They're mentioning Matilda. So that's my guess. And again, guess, Gekko Gaming hat type of thing, not no hidden information in here. I have no information about this commander that I'm trying to sprinkle out there. Finally, our last point is that Richard I and Yi Seong-Gye sculptures will now be added to the daily special offers. Oh my goodness gracious. First of all, massive thing that changes the game. Because Richard and Yi Seong-Gye in the beginning were available out of gold keys in Kingdoms 1 through 30. And a lot of people abused that functionality to get Richard and Yi Seong-Gye ahead of time in other kingdoms. And then a lot of us waited for day 33, I think it is, when the first Richard wheel comes out, and then day 60, and then Yi Seong-Gye, I believe, comes out in day 90 of a kingdom. And now anyone who buys the daily packs can end up getting these commanders quicker. This gives you the ability to get your commanders done quicker. This gives you a way to not have to spend legendary commander sculptures on them, because you can buy them out of this every single day. It's fantastic for the newer players. It sucks for the older players, but this starts a trend that I want to touch on really quickly before we finish this video that you all should get ready for, because this happens in every single game, and Rise of Kingdoms is starting to reach that point that they have to do what I'm about to say. As the game progresses, the gap between the new young player, day one player, and the oldest player in the game grows with every single day. The problem is the oldest player, which is the like button, and the new player will eventually interact with each other much quicker than the new player can try to catch up with the older player. So there's forever an inherited advantage for the older player over the newer player. But then how do you satisfy newer player communities? You're trying to get more new players to play your game. But how do you tell new players that, you know, you're going to go up against this dude, he's going to destroy you, but it's okay. You just keep spending money. You just keep playing the game. He keeps growing the same time you keep growing, and there's never a way to close this gap. What most games end up doing is that they end up making these exact kind of changes. They are changes that are geared to help out the newer players to get themselves in the game a bit quicker, so that they can close the gap in a more meaningful way, but there's still a big enough gap between the old player and the new player. It was like this, I think, right? And so get ready. get ready, because what'll happen, and I'm telling you this from experience, I know this happens, in a few months, the packs, the daily packs, the regular packs that you can buy will all of a sudden be even better. All of a sudden, for example, this will start dropping 4 passport pages for $5, not 1. Why? Because they're going to want to add more things so that the players who are just starting can catch up faster. In a previous game I played, it was so obvious the kind of change that they created, because when I started playing the game and I bought a certain pack that was very specific for something very specific, it only came with that something very specific. Today, when you buy that something very specific, you also get like another 60 equipment keys equivalent. Like, think about it this way. You need to close the gap between old players and new players. So on top of getting speed ups on a pack, on, for example, the research pack, this is a pack that 90% of the players who are after their researches are done, they don't buy this anymore. You may have bought Fountain of Wisdom before, but now that your researches are done, you don't buy this anymore. You also don't buy necessarily, well, Resource Reserve, some people do, but you don't buy like, where is it, City of Hope, because you don't need it. You finished all your buildings. What'll happen is that City of Hope, probably, City of Hope and Fountain of Wisdom 2 will start dropping like equipment chest keys or materials in here or something, so that the newer players who are spending their money on the newer player packs will also get late game stuff. And that's exactly what they did with the daily offers. They essentially said, these are commanders that are crucial. We cannot allow the newer players to spend legendary commander sculptures on these commanders, because they are going to have to catch up with other people later on. And so we're going to make it so that those who spend money on the game can save their legendary commander sculptures and then use them on other commanders to close the gap quicker. This is a pay-to-win shortcut, by the way, and it'll happen. So be aware about this. The game is slowly starting to shift into, we got to give a little bit of a better advantage, a little bit of better rewards, a little bit of better bang for their buck to the newer players, so that they can feel comfortable enough to play against the top players and still understand that there's a gap between them, but not one that they'll never be able to close. So keep that in mind. Our final point was that. And yeah, I'm Gekko. I'm out of here. I appreciate everyone. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, join our Discord, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this update. What's your most favorable, most important part of this update? In the comments down below. Leave me feedback as well, and I'll see you all on stream tomorrow. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.